People. Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News. We might share some of the same views. Our views might be different. However, the difference is in the meds. First thing that is popping in the news, long run, short catch. And I am speaking about one of the two suspects in the disappearance of Donnalee Donaldson. Social media influencer, she is called. Now people, the latest update is that we see that Mr. Noel Maitland, the boyfriend of Donnalee Donaldson, he was taken into custody yesterday. He was taken in from Duke Street. Duke Street is in downtown Kingston. You know, sir, whenever you're under investigation, them have your number, so therefore, if them feel like talking to you, they can contact you. So I am assuming that that's how that went. However, here is the details. There was a case review that was held by the top brass in the Popo JCF, the DPP, and also Indicom. That was held from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. on Tuesday. So therefore, that's 6 hours of intense case review. Based on what the DPP and Indicom and the top brass of the Popo, CTAC and them determine, they have adequate evidence that this man, Mr. Noel Maitland, was linked and is linked to the disappearance and possible takeaway of Donnalee Donaldson. Now people, I am going to let you listen to a couple of voice notes. First voice note is going to be from Assistant Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner of Popo, Fitzbailey. The next one is going to be from the lawyer for Mr. Noel Maitland. His name is Christopher Townsend. And then I am going to let you listen to the lawyer for Cathy Ann Smith. His name is Oswest Senior Smith. Same namesake as Mrs. Smith. So people, take a listen to what our Deputy Commissioner has to say, and then I'll give my piece.
On Tuesday the 26th of July, a case review was held at the CID headquarters between the hours of 4:30 and 10 p.m. A number of stakeholders were involved in that case review, such as the offices of the Director of Public Prosecution, Indicom, and police from different departments within the force. As a result of the case review, it was agreed that there was adequate evidence to link Constable Noel Maitland to the disappearance of Miss Donaldson.
Now people, like I said, they had a meeting, case review, for 6 hours or so. All the stakeholders, DPP office, Paula Llewellyn and them, the top brass in the JCF, Indicom, CTAC, and they had no sort of doubt, not a shadow of a doubt that this man is guilty, you know, based on some of the stuff that we've heard, based on some of the stuff that we've seen, including the voice note with the couch, including the fact that he was the last person in which she was seen present with, based on information from the neighbors, based on information interview that was done with the mother. So therefore people, it could have only went one way. One way meaning this man needs to be faced. He needs to face the fire. He needs to be put in front of the court and make the court determine his fate. And people, you and I know what his fate is already. Destination, doom, prison, or DEATH. Point blank and period. Now people, when Fitzbailey did his first interview and people saw it, of course, John Public was impatient and rightfully so, John Public was frustrated because of the fact that, listen, this man guilty of sin. We don't see any other suspect. If I know him and Cathy Ann, him or Cathy Ann, both of them together, there is no other person in which fingers was pointing to. So therefore, when we hear Mr. Fitzbailey say, listen, these persons are not suspect, and even worse, not even a person of interest. Of course, persons are going to be in them feelings. However, people, what we did not realize was this man was playing possum. This man was using psychs because, of course, if you make people get the indication that, yeah, they are suspect, them can run, jump on a jet plane, jump on a boat, or even worse, well, not worse, go down a Kingston Wharf or waterfront and jump off, or find a breadfruit tree with a short rope and jump off. We never wanted that. We wanted justice to be served. We want to see him go in and out of the court. We want to hear that day in which him gets at least a double life sentence. We want to see the family, the mother, get justice for all of the tears that she has cried. So people, that is Fitzbailey right there, sir. Now people, remember I did a couple of videos and I spoke about the lawyers for both suspect persons of interest. One of those lawyers, his name is Christopher Townsend. Christopher Townsend is what we would consider to be one of the better lawyers in Jamaica. Namesake, reputation, is he as good as advertised? People, I cannot validate or verify that, because you know, a lot of times these people win case on technicality. These people are in the body club. I am not saying that he's not a competent lawyer, but me just say him kind of overrated like most of them. So anyways, that is not the point. You remember when he said that his client, Mr. Noel Maitland, based on information that he got from the police high command, he is not a suspect. He is not a person of interest. As a matter of fact, he is concerned for Donnalee. He wants to see her home, so therefore he can clear his name. Now people, do you realize I am going to let you listen to this same lawyer, Christopher Townsend, and you're going to realize the difference in the tone, the difference in how he sounds. He seems as if he has lost a whole lot of confidence. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
Well, the next steps will be that of the police. We anticipate that he will be questioned, and so we await the timeline for that question and answer. And of course, you know that he does have an appointment with INDICOM on the 3rd to be questioned by them also. And of course, if it is that the timelines are not being kept, we will be forced to file a habeas corpus before the court for them to make a decision either they release him or charge him. But we are not yet at that stage.
Now people, like me say, when it comes to these lawyers, it is all a hustle. Money is the motive. They have ulterior motive. It is not the search for justice. It is a search to make those commas and those zeros increase in the bank account. Even if them a PISS off a couple of people. Because everybody knows that Noel Maitland is where the bucks stop, literally. He is responsible. He has a part, a conspiracy, as it pertains to Donnalee Donaldson being missing. So therefore, we hear him change up him things now. He said that there's going to be a question and answer as it pertains to the Popo. He's waiting for that to be scheduled. And we know that there's also a question and answer on the 3rd of August, 2022, a couple of days from now, in which he is going to be, and he's going to have a question and answer on both appointments. Now people, can you imagine how this man feels in his cell right now as he sits down and he contemplates how did it get from being a user, abuser, a person that took advantage of a girl, that was nothing but good to you, gave you good sex, look out for you financially, because you heard his mother, Sophia Lugg, said in an interview that she pay for the baby mother, the matey, Cathy's passport for the baby. She buy clothes and send for him a New York or overseas, and then him turn around and do this to this girl. People, this is the heights of ungrateful wickedness, point blank and period. So people, that are Mr. Townsend right there. So let's talk about the lawyer for Cathy right now. And people, based on what the lawyer is saying, the head of the Popo High Command informed him that at this point, his client, Cathy Smith, is not a suspect, is not a person of interest. They don't have adequate information, intelligence right now linking her to the takeaway of Donnalee Donaldson. People, the operative word at this point. However, we know as it pertains to this case, things can change like the tide. It can go from ebb to flow, from good to bad. So therefore, tread cautiously. Now people, if we follow what the JCF is saying and what this lawyer is saying, and people, take a listen to exactly what he has to say, and then I'll give my piece.
We have at the same time heard the various charges that are being leveled out there in the public space against my client. We know that sometimes the authorities succumb to and wilt under the pressure. So we can only hope that the JCF, they remain professional, that they act upon and only upon evidence. It is our view that there is no evidence that can ensnare my client into the disappearance of Ms. Donaldson.
So people, when we hear what the lawyer says and we see what has been going on in the news in the court of public opinion, we see everybody is going to be shocked, and mostly most persons are going to be disappointed, because they were out for BLOOD. They wanted to see Noel Maitland, but not only Noel Maitland, also Cathy get what she deserved. And mostly they wanted the family of the victim to get justice for their missing daughter that is feared, DEAD. We've heard a whole bunch of stuff on social media. We've heard interview by a lady who describes herself as Constable Brown in the interview that she did, that infamous interview that everybody and their mother saw. And she made it seem as if she had first-hand knowledge based on people that work at the station, based on people familiar with Mr. Noel, based on people that are Popo, Mr. William Shikar, so him get information from somebody. So therefore, third party, fourth party, whatever you want to call it. However, people, like them say, hearsay does not work in courts. And people, it seems as if this lady was not telling half-truth, quarter-truth, 1/8 of a truth, 1/16 of a truth, big 8, whatever you want to call it. It seems as if she was either giving her the benefit of the doubt, was over-sensationalizing, exaggerating, or even, if you want to say it, she was telling lies. People, that is my impression. So therefore, people, at the end of the day, we see there's a whole bunch of twists and turns in this case. A whole bunch of differences. A whole bunch of people saying this and saying that. However, people, at the end of the day, we have to rely on the evidence. We have to rely on the facts of the case. If the fingers point at this person and the evidence substantiates it, therefore, those are the person that we want to see. And even though everybody wants justice and everybody wants BLOOD, and we see say, the two people that are supposed to be the suspect, I am speaking about Noel Maitland and also Katyan, we don't want an innocent person to get convicted. We don't want an innocent person's reputation to be smeared, because people, that is the worst thing that you can do to an individual. When an individual know that he or she is innocent and then you beat upon them name and people. I am not saying that Katyan is innocent and only Noel is guilty. Me just say, we've been patient for a very long time. So therefore, let the cards roll where they may. Let's see what happened. Let's see when everything unfold. And people, we had little bit of confidence in the JSF. However, people, we say that they cannot just charge people, arrest people. There has to be a process. So people, let the process unfold, and hopefully justice will be served. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.